Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. Hello, what's up, people? How y'all doing? What's going on? Hope this can sit over here. What's happening, people? What is the happenings? What's the goings on? What is going on?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
All right. Let me get this phone number up here, guys. Because I'm trying to tell you, look, if there's going to be a show tonight, it's going to be because of you guys. I'm trying to tell you right now that this is all on you guys, right? So what's going on, Tim Black's Wolfpack? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling out there? Hope some people in the house. Guys, I'm gonna jump right into phone calls. And that's why I'm here tonight, is for phone calls. So I'm gonna go to my first phone call that's already in the queue. Caller, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
Hey, Tim. How you doing?
I'm good.
Tim?
What's your comment?
Timmy?
Hold on a second. Make sure you're up loud enough. Okay, try again.
I'm trying to tell you right now.
Timmy?
Yeah, I hear you now, brother.
All on you guys, right? So what's going on, Tim Black's Wolfpack? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling out there? Hope some people in the house.
Okay, go ahead, brother. We can hear you. What's up?
I'm gonna jump right into phone calls.
What's your comment?
And that's why I'm here tonight, is for phone calls. So I'm gonna go to my first phone call that's already in the queue.
Hello?
Caller, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your
Yeah. What's your comment, brother?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Uh-oh. Can he hear me?
Tim?
Yeah.
I can.
He said he can't hear me. You can't hear me?
Tim, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, try again. I'm trying to tell you right now.
Timmy?
Yeah, I hear you now, brother. All on you guys, right?
Tim?
All right, that's it. 907, you're live on Freedom Friday. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, 907, can you hear me?
Hello?
So something must be going on with our phone system. And there's nothing on my end that needs to be changed. Yeah, there's nothing on my end that needs to be changed, brother. Brothers and sisters, there's just something up with this phone queue. God. I tell you guys, I tell you. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. Like the worst day, you know? Worst day for this to happen. All right, it is what it is. What you gonna do? See how I got over that real quick? You realize if you accept that there is nothing that you can do other than reboot, then you're gonna be all right. So I didn't even want to have to like do a monologue to like come up with something based on the stories, but I can just talk to you about things that kind of caught my eye before why this is rebooting. I kind of just wanted to make this be about the callers and about the chat, just due to all the busyness, all the just totally not being in it, totally exhausted. Everything happened this week and everything that's going on. Then working crazy, just working today, just nonstop, all 3 hours sleep. But I did see a couple things that I did put out a couple of videos, and one of them was on The Guardian. And we talked about this on the show live, but I did a separate video on it, and that included a lot of footage from the cable networks that were peddling the false, the fake news about Julian Assange and Paul Manafort and WikiLeaks. So did a great video on that. I think it's a very good video. Of course, for that video to get any type of reach at all, it's going to require you guys to actually share it, because we know that YouTube and Facebook doesn't give me that kind of reach, and I'm not the only one who's in that situation, but that is my situation, has been my situation for a long time. So I would like for you to go to my YouTube channel and check out that video. It's about Julian Assange. I think it's called The Guardian Smears Julian Assange, connecting him with Paul Manafort, connecting WikiLeaks with Paul Manafort. That's what it's called. So we're doing the reboot now. Oops, that's not going to work. Try that one more time. And we'll see what happens with that reboot. What else, guys? So check that video out. Also, I did a video earlier this week on Stacey Abrams about the Georgia governor race. Yeah. Very interesting video with an interesting point of view about some of the issues surrounding the Georgia election. Also around actually, I think it can extend to the Florida election and a lot of other pivotal races. So please check that out. It's on my YouTube channel as well. A lot of content. I put a lot of time into it, trying to make sure that we up the quality of the broadcasts that we do, the individual videos that we put out. We're trying to do a better job on those. So check those out. Give me feedback. Let me know what you think. Now, guys, check this out. Now, so coming to air, I saw it's dialing. Give me some love. Continue. I'm going to try.
Start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2. To speak to customer service, press 3.
All right, let's try this.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
All right, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
Oh, hey, Tim. Can you hear me?
Yes,
How
we
you
can
doing,
hear
buddy?
you.
All right, that's good to know, and thank God it's gone through. But the one thing I want to talk interesting, not just about that that Guardian smear against Julian Assange. There's something about, let's say, that involves WikiLeaks related, like the ones named Corsi, Jerome Corsi, of course, and Roger Stone and everything. The thing is with Mueller, they're trying to do anything to pressure him in perjury trap, and also try and go after Stone, of course, whichever they can. And not only they would try and do that, the thing with Jerome Corsi, of course, he's doing everything in his power to like fight back against him, and he was negotiating a plea deal, but apparently withdrew it. So I don't know how this is going to go with this guy, especially how he's going to like handle with Mueller, even though the guy is a dirty rat to the core. The one thing about the that Guardian smear by that knucklehead wackadoodle known as Luke Harding, of course, that dude, he's a crazed fool. Unlike the journalists from Washington Post, it's like more likely Guardian and Washington Post, they're like exactly the same thing with their exaggerational craziness and everything. But I will tell you this, I watched like a clip from Jimmy Dore's show, which showed Aaron Matei from The Real News. That dude, he's very smart, and I love The Real News, how they cover real, actual news, unlike the corporate news. Like, he was like grilling him about this whole collusion thing that was made by the book that he made, that was made by none other than Luke Harding, and of course, he got destroyed in Aaron Matei's show when he was grilling him about it, of course. And you know the thing with Julian Assange, I don't know how this is going to be with him in the Ecuadorian embassy. And you know, shame on that current president who is not going to do anything, but now look what they did. Shame on him. And not only like shame on him, shame on the U.S. government for, you know, the wars. And apparently with Assange, he makes friends and now makes enemies. I mean, Democrats used to like him against the Republicans and their war crimes, and now they don't because they're Clinton lovers that just go against it for releasing Hillary's emails and everything. And, you know, to wrap things up, the Senate Intelligence Committee, I looked in the article somewhere, invited that Julian Assange to come and testify of what happened in the 2016 election and everything, and also, yeah, that sort of thing. I do thank you for your time, Tim.
All right, no problem. Thank you for the phone call. Glad it's working. Glad this phone line's working now. All right, all right. Another call that was in the queue earlier is 907. 907, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
It's the old lady from Alaska, Tim.
All right.
Congratulations on the grandbaby. She's beautiful. I hope your daughter's doing well. Hope your cold's feeling better. I just wanted to call and let all the people who kind of listen to my bullshit every now and again know that we had a major earthquake here. And it destroyed a lot of Alaska. And the only thing the goddamn president was worried about was our oil pipeline. And I just wanted everybody to know that we're all right. We're going to recover. We're going to do what we can. But we're alive and well. And by the way, Washington Post, we all know is owned by Jeff Bezos. And the you know how CIA they paid him something like $600 million to print, to be the outlet for their voice. Well, The Guardian is MI6's voice. This is all a bunch of, this is just retribution. This is, in the 10 years Julian Assange and WikiLeaks has had their stuff going, they've never once got it wrong. And if they're going to prosecute Julian Assange, they might as well prosecute the New York Times, every MSM who utilized that information, all the information he ever leaked about Chelsea Manning when he was Bradley Manning, and he doesn't just do this in the United States. He reports on all the world. We're just so goddamn arrogant. We think we're so special that he's the only one he points at. He is a truth teller. He's a real honest, hey, this is the way it really is. We would never have known about what happened to Bernie Sanders if it wasn't for him. So he's got governments all over his ass because he tells the truth. And we're doing everything. I mean, remember when Clinton said, hey, let's just assassinate him? And before Pompeo even became head of the CIA, he also said it on TV. Now, we're a rogue nation to the rest of the world. We're the only ones making shit happen really bad and having refugees all over the world. So, chickens are going to come home to roost, but they need him quiet. They need him to shut up. And they cut off all his communications so they can make up their own crappy story through this dude who wrote the book Collusion and all that crap. Everybody sees it for what it is. But he also knew what he was doing when he got into what he was doing. It's not that I don't feel bad for the man. I think it's just sad for the world that this is what we do to our truth tellers. And it puts a chilling effect on the world's reporters. And when our president can come right out and say, hey, it's okay to chop up a dude, as long as we can still sell arms to these people that we are helping destroy Yemen, and as of now, 85,000 children starved to death, and the largest cholera outbreak. Well, that's called a war of attrition, and that's actually a massive war crime. And when Germany did it, we hung people for it when it was all said and done. So we better break away from them Saudi Arabians. We've had a relationship with them for way too long. And we damn well better walk away from Israel, because when Benjamin Netanyahu can walk his ass right into our Congress without the permission of our president and tell us what to do and run AIPAC, and Chuck Schumer, as I said before, anybody can go to YouTube, type in Chuck Schumer AIPAC speech, listen to who his alliance is to. He flat out says it. And who was in attendance was the vice president and was both Democrats and Republicans. This is all about the world's oligarchs and the world's people that they got their foot on everybody's neck. So we either walk away from this or people are going to get tired of our stuff. And so the only way we're going to save ourselves from world war is everybody get out on the street and say, no more. I remember the days when we went against the Vietnam War, and we protested, and we were loud, and we went against Nixon so badly that he and Kissinger were in the same damn room when they put school buses in front of the White House to blockade it off. And said, if they get through, they're going to hang us. And that's when things started to change, is when people got in the streets. And yeah, people got hurt. But there's people all over the world dying because of us, and it's about time we stand up for them and start treating our fellow human beings as a fellow human beings. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I talk too long all the time anyways, but when Alaska, we're going to make it, you guys. And you know, the first thing the president said, he was worried about our damn oil pipeline. Not the schools and everything that's on fire in our airports and the tsunamis and all the rest of that. So he showed his true colors. You know, as long as that oil pipeline's all right, everything's going to be cool. He'll send us money. Anyway, everybody's safe. We had no deaths. A lot of destruction, though. And we'll rebuild. But you know, right now we got thousands of people without heat, electricity, and it's pretty damn cold up here in Alaska. So we all know what to do. Ones with heat, and we're going to take in the people we can take in. We're going to take care of our own. But if we can do that for ourselves, I think we better start standing up for our own country and get out in the streets. If they can put pussy hats on and for a day and go down there for about whatever, you know, the first day is inaugurated, then how about we get our asses out in the street and stay in the streets until they stop this stuff? Because, you know, other people in other countries don't deserve what we're doing. And we're the government. They're our employees. And it's about time we tell our employees, you're done. That's our money. You ain't spending it this way. And you ain't murdering babies over there anywhere. We're done. Bring them all home. So let's be grateful for our lives and be grateful that we have an opportunity to make a chance to make a difference.
All right, Laura, thank you for the phone call. We appreciate it.
Love you guys. Good night, everybody. God bless.
All right, now. Thank you. Thank you so much. 904, 907, 301, 813. 301, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
My name is Marcus, and I just wanted to talk about, like, you know, this fire outbreak that's been happening in California for a minute now. In addition to some other shit, but mainly the fire. It's like, what else, you know, has to go down before people in office, particularly, you know, on the right, can stop downplaying the effect that climate change is having on our world? Like, what is the toll going to be? How much do we have to lose before they say, okay, there's some things more important than how fat our pockets get? Because, you know, if the world is extinct, all the money is going to be worth shit because it's going to go away too. So it's just like, I'm not getting the lack of logic in it at all. You know what I'm saying? And then just overall, I've just been further disheartened with government since the midterm election. Like I said, I'm from Maryland, and we, especially in PG County, there were a lot of people that did not get to vote. There were hundreds of people waiting in different areas of PG County for ballots, hundreds. And it's hard to make people want to be involved in the process when there are so many ways that it's being shown that, you know, the people that want your support don't actually give a shit about you outside of that. I'm not going to ramble on for too long because I'm sure there are other callers with more to say, but I just think that I just don't get it. Like, it has to be, it's suicidal in my mind to deny that not only the country but the world needs some changes made to it just for the sake of keeping your pockets fat. When in reality, if things like climate control don't get addressed, you and your pockets are going to be out of here along with everybody else. Same thing with the gun situation. People are going to keep trying to use this assault on their Second Amendment right as a red herring until someone they know, love, and care about runs into a psychopath with an assault rifle. I don't get it. It's just illogical. But that's all I wanted to say. That's how I feel. I'll head off now. Congratulations on the grandchild. Hope everybody has a good night and a good weekend.
All right, man. Hey, thank you for the phone call, Marcus. I appreciate it. Give it up for Marcus. Thank you guys for calling in so quickly, man. I appreciate you. I'm glad. I was like, you know what? I just want to open up phone lines and give people an opportunity to say whatever's on their mind. So I appreciate all of you guys, Marcus and Laura, and my first caller too, calls in often, calling in and voicing your opinions. 301, we got that. 813, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment? you're live.
Oh, sorry, I muted it with my face. So I'm here now.
No problem.
Okay, so my name is Jeremy. I wanted to talk about some news that came out on Monday, November 26th. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry, it's a nonprofit group, and they received a letter back from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. They were petitioning them to show evidence of unprosecuted crimes from 9/11. To show those unprosecuted crimes, show the evidence to a special grand jury, and the Southern District of New York is going to comply with them. So the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Truth will get to show evidence that the three towers in New York City, World Trade Center 1, 2, and 7, were brought down by controlled demolition. So imagine if it turns out that the jury rules that all three of those towers were brought down by controlled demolitions. Do you think the media would even report it? How significant would that be? Yeah, so I just wanted to keep you posted on that. I'll get off and let me know your thoughts.
Wow, Jeremy. All right. Thank you for the phone call, Jeremy. Goodness gracious, brother. Wow. Yeah, that'd be big. That'd be a big deal, brother. God, that'd be the biggest news of. I can't think of a story that would be bigger than that if that was actually said in a court of law. How could they not? Well, hell, that's crazy. I can't ask that question. Like, how can they not report on it? There's so many things they don't report on now. But I think with the advent and the unleashing of the internet, they haven't been able to stop it just yet. I know they're trying with the censorship on the internet. I think independent media would get the word out. Yeah. So, look, guys, 319-527-6212. I had a phone call at 516. I'm coming your way, 516. You're live. What's your name and what's your comment?
Are you speaking to me?
That's you. How you doing?
Oh, this is funny. I just thought I'd call in. I saw the thing on Twitter, so I thought I'd call in and say hello.
Well, hello. How you doing? What's some news story? What's on your mind tonight? Anything going on in the world that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I would want to talk about the thing that bothers me, that I noticed that no progressive seems to talk about. I don't know if you've ever seen my comments on Twitter. I'm the Jamaican woman, Canadian, who probably click on and like some of your comments sometimes.
Well, thank you.
The thing that bothers me I notice that people aren't talking about is the experimentation, the human experimentation that's going on, and it's sinister and it's dangerous. And I notice no one is talking about it. It's the targeted individuals thing. It's almost as if people think it's a hoax, or I know the CIA puts out a lot of fake people talking about UFO and Martians and all that bullshit to hide the fact that they're human testing on people, reading brainwaves and that sort of thing. It's a real thing, and I notice no one talks about it in the progressive groups. Hello?
But yes, I'm listening.
Do you believe it, or do you think it's a hoax, or,
Oh.
I just wonder, because that's more sinister than anything that they've ever done.
Yeah,
More sinister. You don't want somebody. Mm-hmm. Sorry?
Yeah. I'm not really privy to it. I'm not really, I'm not really informed on that subject.
You're not really familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should look into it a little bit. It's not great. They put out a lot of okay. Let me see if I can put it in a way that you can understand it. It's a thing where, you see that guy who said this is my ELF, my extremely low wave frequency device, and he went and he shot up. I think he was a military guy, and he went up and he shot up that military place.
I think I may recall that. Yes,
that was something.
Mm-hmm.
That was something real. What happens is that people break into your apartment, break into your house, load up your food and no matter where you go, they'll pay people, they'll pay your neighbors, they'll pay your friends, they'll pay your boss, they'll pay your coworkers, whomever, and you have no idea who these people are because somehow they've signed them to non-disclosure agreements or whatever, and they will stalk you with cell phones and their cell phone apps and radio towers and they will stalk you, and the chemicals, the radioactive chemicals would somehow they'd be able to read that. Somehow they'd be able to do something with it. It's like they're human testing, and they'll hit you with low wave frequencies that only you can see and feel, and no one else around you, and they can read your brainwave. It's crazy, but it's real. And I'm surprised that no one in the progressive movement have paid attention to it at all. It's almost as if, the most dangerous thing in the world is going on and no one pays it. What they've done is they put out a lot of feelers about UFOs, and anyone who is going through this, they'll make it seem like people who go through this are crazy.
Yeah.
So
it does sound crazy. It does sound crazy.
It sounds crazy, but it's human experimentation. Jesse Ventura might speak about it. You might hear even Alex Jones, and people will say, "Oh, Alex Jones is a crazy and whatnot." But you know what? He's and I'm black. I'm obviously a black person, so of course I wouldn't be pro Alex Jones because he's kind of racist. But he's really some things that are actually true. Sorry, I'm in the cold. I shouldn't be in the cold because I'm speaking in the cold and I'm kind of freezing while I'm talking. So let me go back inside. So he said some things that are actually true, and people don't pay attention. But I think it's time people start paying attention because the brain experimentation that Obama embarked on in 2014, that's what they're doing. They're experimenting on people.
All right, sister.
All these so-called brain new trends that they come out with. They're actually they break into your phones. It's ridiculous. They stalk you. The gangster. It's ridiculous because they have deep pockets to pay this much attention to one person.
Okay.
24/7 for this long. So I'm just asking people to pay attention.
Okay.
Because it's dangerous, and if they're doing it on a small scale, they'll scale it up. They'll scale it up.
All right, sister. Well, thank you for the phone call. We appreciate it. I appreciate you for phoning in. Hey. I tell you something that does bother me that I noticed. And it's happened like a couple of days in a row, so I'm starting to look into it. And that is, when I get up in the morning, I have no phone calls. But as soon as I check my phone, I start getting the spam phone calls. I'm convinced that my phone has been hacked and that they have some way of knowing that I'm on my phone, and that's when they start sending the spam phone calls. You know, the unsolicited spam advertising calls? You know, those calls that are from all parts of the country, and you keep blocking them, and you're blocking them, and you're blocking them, and you're blocking them. Well, yeah, those calls. Those are the ones I'm talking about. So, like, I know there are things, I know that has nothing at all to do with the caller was talking about, but that's just something that I want to complain about. I want to complain about the rent being too damn high, and I want to complain about them spam phone calls. I mean, too many of them spam phone calls, y'all. All right. Lord have mercy. Yeah. So, look, guys, we'll keep going. Thank you. 843. 843, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what is your comment?
Tim?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Tim?
Hey.
So this is Lil Sis calling from South Carolina.
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You've been some awesome shows. And I just wanted to call in. I tried to call in like 2 weeks ago, and somehow it didn't come through. But anyway, I wanted to touch on what you said on one of your shows about how we're not at the same place where we were with Bernie Sanders. You know, we have gone through so much. We've been woken. We have, I think for most of us that have been paying attention, it's been very, very traumatizing and psychologically damaging even to realize and see what the media did to the voters and the fraud and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and on and on and on and on and on. So, you know, I was pretty much turned off Bernie, but now that he's coming back and they're bringing out the long knives after him, then I was talking to my husband earlier and I said, you know what, because we're not politicians. You know, we haven't been in those particular trenches. And I mean, like, I was so mad at Bernie for having to come out and saying that Nita Turner couldn't speak and this and that. But you know what? Maybe he took the long view, and maybe he's setting down these conditions. So I don't know. You know, I got a lot of questions, and I mean, you know, Bernie is the one who woke me up. I mean, if it wasn't for Bernie Sanders, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So, you know what I mean? Because you're not a politician either. I mean, you call it like you see it. That's how we roll, right? I mean, we try to ferret out the truth and make sense of shit, and sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. But, you know, I mean, at least I know from me, I would never have the temperament to be a politician. I just couldn't do that. So, but anyway, yeah, I think it's really interesting. And I don't know if you caught Michael Tracy's article in The Spectator about Bernie Sanders. But yeah, there's all this stuff coming out about Bernie, you know, and here we go again, you know, he can't win, he's too old, and he's this, and he's that, and too divisive, and, you know, it's like redux, you know. I'm just feeling like 2015 coming back again. So, anyway, you've done some great shows. this week, and I'm glad you're back strong. And congrats on the grandbaby. A wonderful, wonderful, beautiful gift. And anyway, I just want to call in and drop that out there. But again, to the Wolfpack, I want to say, that point to me, it's been like reverberating in my brain. We are not who we are or who we were in 2015.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think that's a very, very important point you made, and something that, people really need to think about. How much are we going to invest? Will we reinvest? If we invest, where's it going to be? How are we going to do that? Because we don't want to waste our emotional and human capital again to a possible failing enterprise. So anyway, glad you're doing Freedom Friday, and I just want to say hello and have a great weekend.
Hey, you too, little sis. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You got it. Definitely. And I'm glad you caught that point. Yeah. It's sort of like, you ever meet somebody and things don't work out, and you hit it off when you met, and it was like amazing, right? And it was fun and interesting, or maybe mysterious and reckless, and it was all those things, right? And then for some reason, like I said, it doesn't work out. You go your way, they go their way. You can, in your mind, fantasize about, we can do that again. Like, hey, we hook back up, and, we can have those fireworks happen again. It never works out that way. It just doesn't. Because you were that person at that time, and they were that person at that time. So I do know that politics and who we admire as far as leadership, and especially in the political sense, I know that's a totally different ball of wax. But what I'm telling you is that that's the way human nature works, and that's the way that life works. And I just don't believe that we're all in the same place. And don't get me wrong, there'll be new stewards of the message. There will be those people that become enlightened or engaged for the first time, like a Prince song. And maybe it is time for them, to feel that, wow, what? And learn these things and become exposed to real media and become exposed to all that's going on with our government, and realizing how we're pitted against one another for the advancement or for the enrichment of a very small few. Or maybe we just need it told to us in a different way. Maybe we have advanced and we've matured. Maybe it's not that we're going to be disinfected or disaffected and no longer empathetic or interested, right? Maybe we'll be mature and we'll be like, okay, so we're at this level now. So as what we may have liked at one point, we're still interested, but now we're ready to get married. Or we're ready to settle down and have kids. Or we're ready to plan for the future and put some seed in the ground. Like, we're ready to do the real stuff. We don't want to go to the movies. We don't want to hang out, go for coffee. We're advanced now. So maybe that'll be what it is. I will say I appreciate you bringing up the topic. Briefly earlier today, I did catch a little bit of Dave Rubin, Shapiro, and Peterson. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching these three guys talk, and for the most part, it was just Shapiro and Peterson, and Rubin looked more like, well, what's going on? He's like this, what's happening? He was like in the middle, like, of these guys talking. He's just, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Huh? That's interesting. He was just doing like he's watching a tennis match. And I was thinking how rare it is that you'll see people on the left have like deep conversations in that way. At least I'm not privy to those type of conversations happening on the left that often. And I was looking at all the momentum on the right. And as I watched, I looked at Dave Rubin. I said, wow, Dave Rubin has almost 900,000 subscribers. And, Shapiro's career is taking off, and Peterson is lightning in the bottle. And I was thinking, yeah, I kind of get why Anna Kasparin's pissed off at Dave Rubin. But no, on real talk though, guys, I was thinking how the right seems like it has all the momentum and all of the fire. And I feel like I'm in no man's land, as I really want to stay independent and be able to look at everything from a vantage point of just trying to seek the truth. But I tell you, man, that's no man's land. That is, someone wrote me, they said, Tim, you can't be lukewarm. You got to be Vakota hot. You can't be lukewarm, right? And I'm not lukewarm on the truth, but they want me in a camp. And anyway, long story short, guys, I'll just say that I called out David Pakman today because I feel like David Pakman is full of shit, and I think he needs to be called out. And I called him out over peddling the false story about Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and Paul Manafort, even though now it's been debunked. Both TYT and David Pakman, and I heard it's not just David Pakman, but when I was contacted, I was told David Pakman has been really leading a charge about this false information. And we have to really get engaged and really stand up to the BS. Because if we don't stand up to it, there's just going to be that exists in the air. And we can't have, we cannot abdicate our responsibility to speak truth to power. So I'm here to say, man, we're going to have to start doing a better job. If we're going to say that we are truth tellers, we got to speak up and spit truth, right? And have more conversations. And there are a lot of changes that I intend to make for the better. And if it don't work out, we keep making changes to make it better. Like, we're going to keep improving. I got some ideas, but I'm going to keep them to myself for now until I'm able to bring them to fruition. But anyway, that being said, let me go to another phone call. Thank you guys for hanging in there. 425, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Bree calling from Oregon.
Hey, Bree, what's up?
Not much. I usually have a few notes. This time I'm doing it on the fly, so don't judge me. So my comment was about Julian Assange kind of in general, and I guess it's kind of related to The Guardian a little bit, but it's more about the court case or the recently, kind of disclosed charges against Julian Assange. And I was kind of talking to, I think it's Elizabeth Voss on Twitter, going back and forth with her about this. And it's been stuck in my head, and so I wanted to throw it out there for everybody else, which is, how are they bringing a case without jurisdiction is a three-legged stool in jurisprudence. You have to have all three legs, or else the stool falls, and you have no case. So I'm not understanding how they are claiming to have all three legs of the stool of jurisdiction to even bring a case against him. So you have in personam or personal jurisdiction. So it's like having authority over the person. Well, they don't have him in any contracts. He's not a citizen. So the U.S. government doesn't have authority over him as a person, which, by the way, is an artificial entity, but that's a whole nother matter. But as everybody else thinks of it as a person, they don't have jurisdiction over him. So the other leg of the stool is subject matter jurisdiction, and that means having authority over the issue and the elements of the case. Well, that, I think they could maybe make a case for having that. But the third one is territorial jurisdiction, which is authority over the land or water in which the event or issue has happened. And again, that would mean they have jurisdiction over the place it was published from, that WikiLeaks publishes from, or that they supposedly have jurisdiction over the internet, but the internet is not land or water, so they automatically don't have jurisdiction over that, and there's no case law yet for them making that claim. So it's really baffling to me how they could even try to bring a case when I just don't think they have jurisdiction. I don't think they have two legs of jurisdiction. And Elizabeth Voss agreed with me and said that was kind of what made it kind of scary. And it is scary because if the other countries allow such a trespass upon their jurisdiction, sovereignty of their nation states, well, then American law could be tried to be applied by the U.S. anywhere. And that means we have the ultimate jurisdiction over all, and everybody else's nation state jurisdiction and sovereignty goes away. So it's really weird, and I would like to read the case, and I just wanted to throw that out there as a legal aspect of what's confusing about that for me. And that's all I got. Thanks, Tim.
Tim Black.
Thank you.
Tim Black.
I appreciate you. That's a good point. I hadn't considered that. So what Bree brings up is a good argument. I hadn't really considered those charges and what they really mean. Maybe I'm in denial about the charges, guys, to a certain extent. That I don't think that they should. I don't think. Of course, I don't think that they have grounds. But I think like a lot of others, I feel that we just don't want to accept that they would actually do that. But this is the United States, and this is what we do. So I think it is worthy of a conversation. All I can say is when the time comes, if that time does come, we will have to pitch in so he can have an adequate defense. I know that he has lawyers at his disposal, and I'm sure they'll make that argument at that time. But I do appreciate the phone call, Bree, and wow, something to think about, people. Yeah, interesting stuff. So, as you can see here from my earlier video, I still have in my queue, in my software, I still have the picture of the embassy in my background, as you can see here, and I still got that rocking, right? Thought it'd be a nice change of pace, right? Nice change of pace. Ooh, look what I could do. So what else, guys? Anybody else have any comments they'd like to share with the crew? I'm looking at the chat. I see no more donations is in the house. Hey, no more donations. Cacti Juice says, thanks, Mr. Black. True to that. Not sure what that comment is in reference to, but I appreciate you. Oh, what's going on with Yemen? Anybody have information about Yemen? I understand that they were putting forth legislation. I think it was Bernie Sanders. I want to say Ro Khanna. I'm not certain, though. To end intervention in Yemen. Anybody familiar with that story? That's something I'm going to dig into this weekend, hopefully. Well, not hopefully. I will dig into that story this weekend. I would like to know the nooks and crannies, the details surrounding that. Very interested in that point. Very interested in seeing that happen. Who we got here? Jilly Love says Oliver Darcy calls Twitter a platform, not a publication, so he's not responsible for what's published. I wish Assange could do the same. Two-tier justice system. All right. Give it up for that. Tom Zito says, I think, unfortunately, that anyone who has an expectation of justice in a Julian Assange trial is naive. Winger Yemen calling for help. The people that watch MSM are years behind. This is true. That's sort of to my point earlier. And you know what happens? I think there'll be some new people, some new persons will discover independent media and discover the truth about income inequality. They will, general public hasn't got that yet. Generally speaking, people blame themselves for being poor. Or they blame other people. That's just what happens. Generally speaking, people who are having a hard life, they blame either themselves or they blame some other minority group. Well, it's true, you should blame a minority group, but that would be the rich. That's the group you should be blaming. So there are a lot of people who have yet to discover what we discovered just a few years ago for some of us, and some of us, others of you may be watching. You discovered some of these facts about income inequality years ago, decades ago, maybe a decade ago, right? And to those people, they were looking at you and I, all those people who sort of woke up around 2015, and looking at us like, what the hell? Like, where you been? Come on. Where you been, Tim? You know, and there were people like that. There were people, I remember when I didn't even know who Jill Stein was. And that was less than 4 years ago. I had no idea who she was. Now I consider her a friend. And I remember the people that encouraged me to become aware, to become educated, to become aware of what was going on. So I hope that this continues. Like, it doesn't stop. It doesn't cease to happen where other people get information. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I hope that goes down. I can't see everything here. I might have to jump on my other one. I had to jump on here to see what's going on. Facebook people, you're in the house too? I got Facebook people. We got some people on Facebook. Yeah, we got Michael's in the house. TC. I'm not familiar with this, but I believe her. Okay, TC. I hear you. Robert Murray. Oh, you guys are a tough crowd. Hey, Freedom Friday, people can call up and voice their opinions, and we, you know, and that's the beauty of it, right? And so, hey, look, so that's what we do, right? That's what we do. I don't need to explain that further. You know what we do here. I know it's straight. Isn't it funny how we went through all that drama about me not being on Facebook, and now here I am back on Facebook. All that drama for nothing. All the drama for nothing. Now, what you guys have to do is you have to watch this show for a long period of time, because what has to happen on Facebook, for me to be able to do Facebook, man, you guys got to watch more than 5-10 minutes of the show. All right? It's important, guys, because I need Facebook as the platform. They are really pinging me. So I appreciate you guys for watching on Facebook. And see, that's why you shouldn't get so excited. Like, things change, and they change back, and they do stuff, you know? I'm the guy who was booted off of YouTube for 3 months. 3 months, man. I've been having to make so many changes. You guys have no idea. I'm trying to work my stuff out with Roku and get my content's not getting to the Roku platform quick enough, because I can't just put it up myself. So I got to talk with those people like, yo, you need to put my breaking stories up on Roku quicker, because people on Roku be like, Tim Black, this story 4 days old. I'm like, I put it out the day it happened. So we got to do a better job on Roku. I can't grow a Roku audience if Roku people are putting my Roku content up. But anyway, these my personal problems. These are my personal struggles. You guys, you know, I know. It's like, Tim, that's your own problems. Deal your own problems. Work your own problems out, Tim Black. That's okay. My grandbaby upstairs. I'll go upstairs and feed my grandbaby and listen to some Teddy Pendergrass and some old school music, and drink some wine. First, I gotta go get some wine, because I don't have no wine in the house. Anyway, yeah. Serafina Benavides says she added, Benavides Kana, give it up for her. She said she added me on Roku, and she forgot that she added me there. She subscribed on Roku, and she forgot how marvelous that was. Well, thank you, Seraphim, for adding me on Roku. I appreciate you. Oh, man, my call queue's open. Look at the people. I got people in my call queue, man. This is a beautiful sight. These people just jumped out, just came out of nowhere. All right, I'm going to try to take calls in the order that they came in. I have a 909 number. You're live, 909. Hello?
Hello, Tim. I'm Suzette, and this is my first time listening and first time calling in.
Well, welcome to the show, Suzette. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was listening to, I caught your show at the beginning there, and your callers, you have intelligent people calling, and I agree with the lady that called before me regarding Julian Assange and the jurisdiction. And we also have to remember which one of your Facebook persons had chatted, and you read it out loud, saying that Julian Assange didn't steal the emails, documents, whatever. He just published them, and he can do that. I mean, the New York Times and Washington Post and all those newspapers do that all the time, and they have anonymous sources leaking information, and they publish it. So, yeah, I think if they were going to charge him, that they would have done it already.
Absolutely. That's what I hope, Suzette. That's what I hope. Well, thank you.
That man doesn't deserve that.
No, he doesn't. He does not. Look, I'm with you on that. Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it. I just wanted to say hello and introduce myself and let you know I'll be following you and listening to your show.
Well, Suzette, I want to thank you. I appreciate you for calling up and taking that first-time caller, guys. First-time callers, man, I appreciate you. You know, I know sometimes it's get a little nervous. You're on the phone line, but can't nobody see you, so you good. Just call up, and if you don't get it, don't come out perfect, don't worry about it. A lot of times it don't come out perfect for me either, so don't even worry about it. Just call up and say whatever's on your mind. Thank you for the call, Suzette. 347, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, am I on air?
Hey, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Tim, you're so fantastic, so great. You know what this guy is? The first-time caller. You're one of the greatest guys I've ever met. Great for independent media. You're not fake news. This is Brian. How's it going on, bud?
Good up for Brian, y'all. Good up for Brian.
I finally had my first time getting on. I just got up at work. I was like, I need to call in. I've been following you for a long, long time, bro.
Right.
I just want to give you the major props for always, sticking to your guns and, speaking truth to power, brother. I really applaud you, man. Always. Always applauded you for that.
Hey, Brian, but look, brother, thank you, man. When I heard it was you, man, I'm like, he must be off today. He must be playing hooky because I know you got to work on Friday nights, man. But thank you so much, man, for making that clip, Brian. And you are hilarious, brother.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, bro. I just want to tell everybody that listens to you, man, you are a stand-up guy. Everybody be a part of this wolf pack. Let's make your channel grow. Let's make your voice louder, because you're one of the few guys that didn't go on that red wave that a lot of people we know did, and they went on the Bernie wave, and then they went to the wave to get that easy buck. And that's why I applaud you, man. You stayed right where you were, and you said, I'm going to call it right down the middle, brother.
My brother, look, Brian, man, you just don't know, man. I'm going to have to move on, man, but I just want to say, Brian, man, I appreciate you saying that. I could talk about that. Give it up for Brian, guys. Give it up for that, man. I appreciate you, Brian, man, for acknowledging that. The thing about it, let me just say this. I'm going to say this, right? The thing about what you just said, Brian, about the people that rode the Bernie wave, and then they say, then they rode the Trump wave. It's not those people so much. It's all the people that are unable to see it for what it was. That honestly is what hurts me. Like, we're not talking about just a voter or a person who just watches content. We're talking about people in the media business. They're in the media business. And you don't see that they were first with somebody else, then they saw Bernie, they said, Bernie. Got millions and millions and millions and millions of views. Then when Bernie left, they said, okay, hate Hillary. They did that for a long time. Then when that dried up, they said, gotta go Trump. They went Trump. And it's the people who don't see all the jumping and they don't think, Hey, is that money making them do? Does money make them do that? Is that for money? That couldn't be money. No, it couldn't be money that makes them do that. So that bothers me, that there are people that can't see, but they'll see Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes and Joy Reid, or, they'll see these people do stuff for money, and they'll be like, hey, that's money. That's for money. But when other people do it, they go, oh, no, that's because they had a change of heart. All right, I'm going to go to the next call, man. Thank you, Brian. You got me in trouble because they're going to be like, I know Tim's talking to, it's not just one person. This is not about one person. So stop saying, oh, I know it's about H.A. Goodman. There are a lot more people on the planet than H.A. Goodman. There are a lot of other people who have done this. It's not just H.A. Goodman. All right? All right. Going on to the next call, man. Oh, I'm in trouble. I done said too much, bruh. I'm used to trouble. 408, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Grandpa Tim, what's up? It's No More Donations. How you doing?
He called me Grandpa Tim. What's up, No More? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. You mentioned, I wasn't planning on calling in tonight at all, and you mentioned you didn't have any wine. I'll be honest, I've had a couple of glasses of wine, so we'll see how this goes. But I don't have anything prepared at all. But, I did want to, congratulate you on being a grandpa. I believe you said again. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think you have maybe more than one grandchild. I do. But anyway, at any rate, congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
So around this time, we had Thanksgiving last week. And I'm going to, I hope Bree doesn't mind, but she and I had a conversation last week on the phone kind of about holidays and stuff like that. And, in my opinion, in my family, we never really celebrated like the traditional kind of Thanksgiving. It's more been an excuse for family to get together and stuff like that. And I don't have anything political planned for this call. I just kind of want to talk about family a little bit because I think it's kind of appropriate this time of year. It's kind of tough for people who've lost loved ones, or maybe they don't have family, and for those of us who do have friends and family that we can talk to, I think it's important that we reach out and try to strengthen each other. It's been a little over 6 years ago that I lost my dad, and it was around Thanksgiving time. So Thanksgiving is a little tough for me, but I'm thankful that I still have friends and family that I can get together with and still celebrate kind of the good times. So if you're one of those people that have that, great. And if you're not, I want to tell you I'm thinking about you. And I just want us all to kind of, we kind of want to be one big happy family, and that's kind of what I think of the Wolf Pack. My friend Bree is the one who introduced me to your channel, believe it or not, and I've been listening for a while and watching, calling in, and all that sort of stuff. And so, I don't want to get all touchy-feely and, have all these emotions coming out, but, I really want to express my thanks to you. That's my Thanksgiving. I'm thankful to have people like you who I do consider a friend and who is a voice, who is speaking truth to power. And there's not a lot of money in that, I know, but integrity, you can't put a price on integrity, I guess is what I'd have to say. So anyway, I don't want to get all schmoopy and all that and teary-eyed and everything. So I'm going to get off the line now. Who knows? Maybe I'll have another glass of wine just to kind of chill out. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else in the Wolfpack had a great Thanksgiving. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, brother.
No doubt, man. Thank you so much. No More Donations. Give it up for that call. And it's an important phone call. It definitely is an important phone call, guys. And look, thank you for the respect, brother, on the baby, the grandbaby. It's my second grandbaby. My daughter is her second child, my oldest daughter. And I'll just say this. my oldest child, I should say, it's my daughter, it's amazing, right? And look, just two things. One is I understand explicitly about people who have who have lost people, and how the holidays makes them feel. There's a sister out there, I don't know if you're watching, but I know that she lost her husband. And when I put my video out, I put out a post about, being with my grandbaby. I said, I was very blessed to have the opportunity to be with her, to see her, and as you get older, even though I'm not even 50 yet, I'm still older, right? I'm getting older. I was just saying how lucky I was. Then I felt bad no more because I realized that this person had lost her husband and he would never be able to see his grandchildren. And I felt really bad about that. But you know what? We have to enjoy our lives, and we just have to reach out to one another and be an ear. And be compassionate and be empathetic to one another. You know what I'm saying? It's a delicate balance when you start thinking about other people, and you don't want to pull up raw emotions or hurt feelings. But I tell you, man, you're right about the Wolfpack, man. Sometimes I want to grow it. I want to grow it. I see other people doing these big numbers and they're doing all this stuff. I'm like, man, I could do that. And then I think my skill level, I feel like I'm just as good as anybody else, if not better. I mean, you got to have that. So I'm like competitive. I'm competitive and I want to grow. But you know what? I'm not obsessed. And I have to, part of the holidays for me is taking time and saying, you know what? Let me enjoy where I am right now. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be this. I want to be that tall. I want to fly like an eagle. But let me enjoy what I have now. Because 2 years ago, being where I am now was a dream. So enjoy what you have. Be thankful. Right? So thank you, No More Donations. I appreciate you, man. That's what I tell myself. That's me talking to me. Yeah, so we're good. 408, that was 4. I have a... Did I take the 909? I have a... Oh, let me go here. I got a 603 number. 603, you're live on Freedom Friday. Hey.
Mary Rose?
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
You talking... Hi, it's Mary Rose. Hi, Tim. I love you. I love you so much. You're so great. And I'm so glad you took my call. I've got some information about Julian Assange that I think people need to know about if they don't already. First of all, Jimmy Dore did a show. It's called Guardian Busted for Bogus Assange Story. Excellent episode. Okay? Just put in on YouTube TJDS, the Jimmy Dore Show, Guardian Busted for Bogus Assange Story. Okay? He's being set up to get to the United States to be disappeared. Okay? And it plays, well, actually, let me back up a bit. Then Chris Hedges on RT America did a show called Crucifying Assange with Joe Lauria from the consortium. And there is, unfortunately, a part of the Espionage Act, an amendment that they've added that if there is possession, reception, or dissemination of classified material, it's subsection C 793, something like that. The UK can hand them over to the US, and on contact with Chris Hedges on RT America, Crucifying Assange, that episode talks about, it plays clips of Christine Assange, okay, and her passionate plea about what is going on and happening to him in that embassy in London. A torture chamber right now. And there is a fundraiser happening. He has amazing, outstanding lawyer bills. He's got lawyers in the United States. He's got lawyers in London. He's got lawyers in, I think, one other country that I can't think of right now. But he is trying to raise $300,000, WikiLeaks is. So it's at GoFundMe, and it's at WikiLeaks. And they've raised in 3 days from 862 people, I just refreshed the page, $38,230. We need to get the word out, okay? And if you watch On Contact, that show, Crucifying Assange, if anybody listens to Christine Assange and doesn't feel her pain as a mother, anyone as a human being, I don't care what you think of Assange, and I love the guy. I mean, he's exposed to corruption like no other in history. We've got to do everything we can as activists, as, you know, I mean, the Fourth Estate, the media is doing nothing, and they're going to be next. And Obama's the one that laid the groundwork for this. And he's the one that has the sealed indictment against him. And he said, well, we can't do it because we'll have what's called the New York Times problem. In the show, Chris Hedges' show On Contact, Crucifying Assange, he's interviewing Joe Lauria. I said that already. And Joe says that that's why they haven't moved forward with it so far. But Christine points out that if he is extradited to the United States, he will either get 45 years in prison, he will be either, because of the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, disappeared, sent to Gitmo, tortured. They want his sources. And what they are trying to do is make it so miserable for him to live in the Ecuadorian embassy right now because of there's been a changeover and who's running it right now. And there's a great article by a writer named Gareth Porter about this, who says, yes, it's definitely a thing. They want, the UK wants money from the International Monetary Fund, and they want a relationship with the United States. Imagine that, of all things. Yeah, Ecuador does, I should say. What did I say, London? Oh, sorry, my husband just corrected me. And so they're trying to develop a good relationship with Trump, of all people. And sorry, folks, for anybody out there who supports Trump still. So, you know, contribute to his legal bills. Go to WikiLeaks.org and just donate money. They're not giving him food. They're giving him menial tasks to do. You know, they're making fun of him for not taking care of his cat, which is baloney. Joe Lauria hasn't confirmed it, but they may have even taken away his cat. He has needed a root canal for years, going on 3+ years, a root canal. He has a heart condition that may be fatal. He's developing, he hasn't had vitamin D, and it's going on 8 years now. He's been in solitary confinement. So this, I'll be quiet soon. I just wanted to put these things out there. People need to listen to Christine. And I want to say on Twitter, her account is called Assange Misses. That is a legitimate account. All the other accounts that say Christine Assange are fake accounts, and they're very cruel. And I'd like to take them all down, but I don't know how to do it quite exactly. But I've been trying to. But at any rate, all right.
All right.
So, and her latest note, after the impassioned plea, complete impassioned plea, is on there from her. But there is a note that says, "I'm okay, but I can no longer participate in helping my son." So basically, his entire family has had to change locations and their identities and things like that multiple times, just because of his courage as a journalist, one of the few outstanding journalists left, and you're one of them too. And let's just hope that the good, progressive journalists on YouTube, you know, they've already demonetized you guys like crazy. Let's hope that you're still standing after all is said and done. And I sure will do my best to do it. And I'm terminally ill, and I am very low income, but I will do whatever I can. And this is part of what I'm trying to do, is just by educating people this way. So keep doing what you're doing, Tim. You're great. You really are. And I thank you for your integrity.
All right. Thank you for the phone call. Thank you for getting the word out. I appreciate it. And it's now out. All right. Everyone who heard heard your comment, they just heard it. We got a couple people on hold. I'm going to say this, and you know, I've always been a supporter of WikiLeaks and a supporter of Julian Assange, and I will continue to be so. One of the things that has always bothered me is the hypocrisy of so many of independent media and of media in general. And the more you learn, the more disgusted you become at the complicity. We have a story such as in The Guardian that we now know is false. The major independent media entity, the Young Turks, is peddling falsehoods with that story. But they still get to call themselves progressive, and they still get the lion's share of subscribers and views from independent media. And they can sell out to that extent. And when I get tired of them and I call them out, there'll be people saying, "You need to just get along, Tim. Why are you mad at them? Why are you always fighting one another?" And it just really, it's like, right now, this negative story about Julian Assange is a total fabrication, totally debunked. They are peddling it just as hard, if not harder, than Rachel Maddow or MSNBC or CNN. And they call themselves progressive independent media. And they get to have Bernie Sanders on their show. And they get to have 4 million subscribers. And they get to have, they get hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just in donations. So it's really difficult for us to speak truth to power when so many of us buy into the BS. So that's part of my frustration. The other part of my frustration is there's so much injustice in this country. We have so many people suffering in the prison industrial complex. When I talk about those issues, some people who support Julian Assange don't support me talking about, for instance, Khalif Browder, who was 20 years old when he committed suicide after being incarcerated without a charge, without a court date, in solitary confinement for a year. And when I talk about stories like that, people who support Julian don't support those stories, but they support Julian Assange. Now, I support both, but it bothers me that The same people that say we need to fight for Julian don't fight for those people who are living under similar situations in this country, right now. And to even say what I'm saying now will have me lose subscribers, will have people write me long notes about I'm being divisive just for telling the freaking truth. Now, all that being said, I still support Julian Assange because it's not Julian's fault that there are people that would cry for him but wouldn't cry for Khalif Browder, who wouldn't cry for the hundreds of thousands of poor people in jail in the United States who are not even 18 years old. Therefore, stupid things like weed or unpaid traffic violations, jaywalking, all types of BS. And like I said, when it's brought to light, people don't want to hear it, but they want to hear about WikiLeaks. They want to hear about the injustice and what's going on with Julian. So we have enough bandwidth to do both. I do both. I implore you to do both. And to stop supporting independent media that behaves like corporate media. If it behaves like corporate media and peddles misinformation, propaganda, then you should treat them in the same way that you would treat CNN or MSNBC, because they themselves are also fake news. All that being said, do as the caller who just phoned up. Chris Hedges has an interesting piece, according to her, RT America, with Joe Laria, who I've met. Joe Laria, I did a show with Joe Laria on RT America. Of course, we all know Jimmy. She said Jimmy did an excellent segment on this. I did a segment today on Julian Assange. But please check those out as well. All right. Beep, beep, boop, boop. This looks like a new number. Let me make sure. 111, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment? Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You're live on Freedom Friday. 11111. All right, 11111. 603. We got a couple of 11111s. I just want to make sure, as obviously these numbers are hard to determine who's who. I'll try this one. Hello, 11111. You're alive.
Yes, my friend.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, Tim, my friend. How are you, sir?
I'm good, brother.
From Singapore. First, I salute you for your true journalism and the truth. And our hearts goes with that lady also called from Alaska, if she's still listening. And we understand, unfortunately, Trump is only for him is money, money, money. And he cares for the pipeline more than people of Alaska. But after that, I wanted to introduce you because we have a candidate. If you go to Yang, YANG, 2020.com, again, YANG, 2020.com. Andrew Yang is going to be the, bet for the next presidency as a Democrat. And he is very, very good because he knows in United States 60% of the jobs will be lost due to robotic and new automation, open source technologies, and he wants to give all Americans $1,000 universal basic income, regardless of whether you work or whether you don't work, or whether you have your own pension from before. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets $1,000 a month. And and also he wants to give free Medicare for all. And also he wants to give free education for all. And how he is going to get the money? He is going to get the money by giving tax breaks to all this Amazon, Microsoft, and all other ones, in the block. So when they give them tax break, that tax break will give everybody $1,000. His video is there. I asked people to go there, and I hope personally, I view him as a very, very understanding person. He wants to make America great again, really. Not, unfortunately, Trump is just saying make America great, but he is the real globalist also, because he was in the G20 today. G20 is only 20 members, including Russia, China, and other ones, Saudi Arabia, that killed Jamal Khashoggi. Therefore, is just, he enters and he said, Alaska earthquake 7.0, and he says pipeline. Yeah, he is. If he says no globalism, so then why he is there for? And he also canceled his, meeting with Putin, and it's very strange because right now NATO is sending high military through the Poland to Ukraine right now. So Ukraine is, it seems, a very hot spot, and with condition that Mr. Trump, President Trump, is not meeting with President Putin. Therefore, we have a very high situation there. And, this Saudi king was there today. In the G20, we saw many demonstrations, but they don't show it in the regular TV unless you go to democracynow.org. Democracynow.org is the place to watch the latest news without prejudice. So I appreciate your team from Singapore, and Suzette from United States, and my friends before that Alaska lady, he called and he brought some very, very great. Well, each one of the callers are great, and each callers should get 100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you with your call. And Yang 2020, Yang2020.com. Yeah, my friend from Singapore has been calling up for quite some time, and he's definitely earned the right to call up and let people know about this candidate who he's impressed with. So check him out and give him a listen. All right. Thank you, guys, and thank you for changing the subject too. I'm so passionate, man. I see so much injustice. This is my job. I see so much injustice. It's you see so much injustice. It's what's the saying, guys? That if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Well, I'm paying attention, yo, and I'm outraged. So, all right. Thank you for all my callers, and you're right. There are some excellent phone calls. Excellent phone calls, guys. 343. Did I talk to you yet? 343. I'm making sure I got you in. 343.
How you doing, my friend? This is Patrick Seguin from Kingston, Ontario. How you doing, my friend? How's the quitting smoking thing going for you?
Oh, good. No smoking, man. How you doing, Pat?
Doing all right, surviving. There's some been breaking news just now. George H.W. Bush has died at 94 years of age, so that is breaking news, apparently right now. There was a couple of things that happened this week with regards to GM. GM closed all of their manufacturing, some of their manufacturing plants here in Canada and in the United States. But also, too, I wanted your thoughts on the CNN firing of liberal pundit Mark Lamont Hill after his controversial remarks on the Israel-Palestine issue. I haven't heard your stance on that particular issue because that is a very hotbed issue within America and the foreign policy about Israel and Palestine. So, anyways, you have yourself a happy holidays and continue on with the good fight. And it was a good article about Abrams as well. Sorry about that. I should have not mentioned how great for last, but you did an awesome article and video there about Stacey Abrams. Anyways, have yourself a great week and continue on fighting the good fight. That's him.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Mark Lamont Hill, huh? Let me try to get through all the phone calls, man, just to make sure. George W. Bush passed away. Okay. Next, the other one, the older Bush. I'm sorry. What was it? George W. Not W. The Fitzgerald. Which? Someone give me the name of the Bush. HW. Thank you, HW. I'm sorry. No more donations. HW. Thank you. No more donations. George W. and HW. There you go. It's real simple. Someone just said something about the grabber. Gosh, man. 817. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
This is Ditto calling, and I've actually watched some of your stuff before, but this is the first time I've ever called in. I just have some comments to make about the United States. I think that the primary problem in this country is that the original and first injustice that has been done in this country has been to the indigenous peoples. And what is very, very troubling to me is that the Trump administration has an agenda to completely continue on with the genocidal attitude that has been in this country since Christopher Columbus came to the islands. And what had happened, which a lot of people don't really know, and it is not being talked about very much in the media, is that the first, basically tribe, we just finished Thanksgiving, and the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe has had their land taken, and the Trump administration is saying that they are not a tribe according to the 1934 Reorganization Act, which is really ludicrous. And so all the things that are happening in this country, all the injustice, it doesn't matter what you look at. The basis for all of that injustice is what has been done to the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. And when I say Turtle Island, that is the complete Americas, from North America, South America, Central America, and the islands. And the injustice is continuing. And what really, really troubles me right now on the border, you got to think, all the indigenous peoples that lived on Turtle Island, they were here. There were no borders. There were no boundaries. There was no states. There wasn't anything like a country. And the resources were shared right from the tip of South America right to the North Pole. The resources were shared. And when the ships came, they were welcomed. And there's some very, very fundamental lies that have been the basis of the building of the Americas. Number one lie was that Christopher Columbus discovered America. No, he didn't. He landed, and what he called the people was Indios, I-N-D-I-O-S, which translated means people of God. But because of all the greed and they had to dish all of these beautiful people in order to steal, kill, rape, pillage, enslave. And so the first slaves of the Americas was the indigenous tribes. And that is the basis for everything that has happened. And really, until those wrongs are corrected, and until the immigrants from Europe start recognizing that they are not the true people of this land. Trump he's an immigrant. He's from an immigrant family. And the ones who belong here do not have the same attitude. I'm talking about the indigenous people. And so in terms of the indigenous peoples that are coming up from Guatemala and all these different places who are experiencing incredible trauma, that's a fulfillment of a prophecy, a Native American prophecy about the uniting of the condor and the eagle. And so this country has to stop with the genocide because it's continuing. And what is happening right now is very, very troubling, because the injustice that is continually committed against the indigenous peoples and the tribes is still going on. What happened in Standing Rock in North Dakota with the Dakota Access Pipeline, the tear gas and the water cannons and everything that was sprayed at, basically November 20th, when it was freezing temperatures. And those injustices were glazed over by the majority of Americans, and they were human rights violations, and laws were broken. And until these issues are dealt with, there will never be any change in this country.
I'm going to have to leave it there, but I want to thank you for your phone call. I really appreciate you speaking boldly and speaking up for indigenous people and the suffering and what's going on now. And I love the way that you brought it full circle to what's currently happening and how it's continuing. And that's what people need to get. But you know what? I do believe, and I do it too. Sometimes I'm hard on us. I'm hard on the people. But the reality is, and I try to remind myself, so let me remind you as I remind myself, I think more people would be very empathetic and sympathetic if they knew. But as long as we have a media, that does not tell the stories, then the people won't know. See, I believe fundamentally, deep down, most people are good people. I just believe that, okay? And I believe given the information, they would behave as good people. But when the corporate media comes into play, and they keep that information from the people. Most people don't even know what Standing Rock was or what it is. I covered it extensively. In fact, I just bumped into yet another friend on Facebook, whose father is a chief, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the tribes, the tribes that was at Standing Rock, or participated in Standing Rock, one of the Lakota tribes, and we're supposed to have a conversation. So I'm still engaged. I'm aware, but I'm also aware that, for instance, nobody in my family even knows what Standing Rock is other than my wife, maybe my son. You get what I'm saying? So the lack of exposure, the lack of our media telling the stories that need to be told is what gives us the impression that people don't care. I think people do care. So thank you so much. Obviously you do care. And thank you for sharing your story and sharing that information with the audience. I have one more phone call, if I'm not mistaken. 810, thank you for being patient, 810. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
My name's Katie Saban.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a comment to make about the General Motors thing. How come GM has Obama's ex-CIA agent working on the board? She just got hired in October 18th, and she is, and all of a sudden everything went crazy at General Motors. And she also works for the Kissinger Association. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, you know, I don't know if there's any connection between those things. I do know that I covered the GM situation and the closing of 150 factories, if I'm not mistaken, hundreds of thousands of employees laid off. And this is right after restructuring, after they would remain solvent because of Obama giving money to save GM and Ford and other auto manufacturers. So yeah, it's really disappointing that this is what's going on. I also know that Donald Trump is threatening to take away subsidies, some of the electric car subsidies that they had written into these agreements with the auto manufacturers. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. I know there are a lot of areas, a lot of states where there are a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and this is right at the holidays. And if I'm not mistaken, some of these shops have already closed, if I'm not mistaken, and some of them here in my home state of Maryland. So I'm very much aware of it. Like I said, I don't know if there's any connection between Obama's ex-CIA agent, but I mean, when you value money over people, this is what you get. Corporations, that's what they do. They value people. Their shareholders and themselves and their CEOs. That's what they value. And it's disgusting, and it's, all those things. And that's the reason why, just having people criticize Bernie Sanders, and I've criticized them occasionally because I had to. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the fact that there are very few politicians on the national scale, on a national level, who are talking about income inequality. They're talking about the Walmarts, the Amazons, the Fords, the GMs. Who else is talking about that? We have Ro Khanna, we got Bernie Sanders. So we're in a tough place, brothers and sisters. We're in a tough place. We really are. I want to give a shout out to Richard Mays, Laura, and Costello West. Thank you so much. And I know, Costello, you know what I'm talking about, Costello, when I talk about the lack of media. Like, that really burns me up. It really burns me up, Costello West, when I see a story. See, sometimes I get things wrong, but I don't get them wrong intentionally. Right? There are things I get wrong. but I don't have a staff of people. Like, you know, sometimes I get burnt because I trust PBS once. I remember this. I trusted PBS one time. You know, I was fooled by the name, you know? But it only takes really one time to get really burnt. You're like, oh, man, damn. Oh, no, it was C-SPAN. I trusted C-SPAN. Who knew you couldn't trust C-SPAN? I thought they just hit record and let the people talk. So, the more I've become aware of the media games, the more upset I've become, Costello, because I'm telling you, man, if people knew what was going on, like most people have no idea how bad their water is at home. We had a lady call in and talk about mind control and low frequency sound waves. Sister, we got people with bad water right now. We got people in Alabama where they have raw sewage in their front lawns, and their children in the United States, in Alabama, are catching cholera. That's happening. Now, I know she was from Canada, but what I'm saying is we got real ish going on all the time that you don't even have to debate if it's happening. We don't have to guess. We don't have to we suspend our disbelief. It's going down, and it's not even being publicized. It's no stretch of the imagination. We're not talking about finding Bigfoot, discovering extraterrestrials. I'm talking about water contaminated. People think Flint's got the worst water. Take your ass to Philly. Flint didn't even have the worst water, but they became the poster child for bad water. There are a lot of cities in this country that have water that's worse than Flint. No coverage. Where's the media on it? So my biggest bone to pick is with media. And for a very good reason. It's not because, I just want to beat up on the media. It's not that Donald Trump fake news. And even that has validity. Even Donald Trump's fake news has validity. His claims of fake news have more validity than you ever could imagine. Do me a favor, everyone watching this show, do me a favor. You called up, you said you enjoyed this content. You said you enjoy watching it. You appreciate it. Do me a favor, go to my YouTube channel, find my video on Stacey Abrams. Because it's not just about Stacey Abrams. In fact, most of it's not about Stacey Abrams, the person. It's about the media coverage of Donald Trump. And I discovered the level of fake news. And what that fake news really is. Not what Donald Trump points out, but the fake news, what it really is. So please go do that. It's a very well researched piece of work. I did an article, and as well, I wrote an article about it because it was so important to get this information out to you. Because unlike corporate media, I want you to be informed. So there's a video, and then there is an article. Share the content. Spread the word. All right, guys. I want to say happy holidays to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody who called up tonight. I want you to know, excellent calls, man. I want you guys to know, man, how floored I am. You know, because I'm off 3 hours sleep. I was up taking care of the baby. My daughter went to the doctor. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure she's going to be fine. I just got a lot of pain from the delivery. And we're just pulling together as a family to take care of family stuff. And I was beat, man. I was working on these videos, doing this editing all day, and then I fell asleep. I said,
90 seconds.
I fell asleep, guys. I said, God, I gotta do Freedom Friday. I was like, I'm gonna be late. You know what? I'm just gonna open up phone lines. And I want to let you know, guys, you came through for me, man. You came through for me. You did this, right? I said, you know what? I'm just gonna open up phone lines. I know I'm late. I'm gonna let the people talk. And my people, they called up and they talked about real stuff. They talked about real issues that the world needs to know about. And know this, all of you who called,
60 seconds.
Everyone who called up tonight, your voice was heard, not just on YouTube, not just on Facebook, but on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Blog Talk Radio, Twitch, and also it'll be heard on iTunes. So you called up tonight and you gave exposure to whatever it was that you shared. And thousands of people will become influenced or listen or hear the message that you gave today. That's the power of independent media. We don't screen calls here. People call up and they voice their opinions and they spread the word. And if it's important to you, believe me, it's important to someone else. Okay? So thank you for being a part of this. This is better than me talking and talking. To have different people call up from different places around the world is immeasurably, it's important. So thank you once again, guys. I appreciate it. That's it. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. You see the shirt? You see the thing back here? Do that. Become that. All right? If you can't become a member, it's okay. Share content. But you can become a member on YouTube. You can become a member on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Patreon. On Patreon is patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. And also, guys, once again, just have a great weekend. And just know that there are good people who care about you, what you're going through. We care about our neighbors. We care about the children. We care about our seniors. We care about our brothers and our sisters. We care if you're transgender. We care if you're gay or straight. We care if you're Christian or Muslim or atheist. We care if you're black or white or Indian or Asian or Native American, or if you're Latino. We don't care. We care whether you are a veteran or not a veteran, whatever you say. Because wherever there's life, there's opportunity. Wherever there's opportunity, there's hope. So you're the hope, I'm the hope, we're all the hope, so let's all get involved. Remember, guys, like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Don't let them do it. And remember, this weekend, if you have a conversation with a friend or a family member and it starts getting political, and you're right there at that place, you know, that place where you want to let them have it because they don't know what they're talking about, or you know you got this wealth of information you can give them, but you're concerned about how they might take it. Err on the side of reason. There's something we do around here you may not have heard of. It's called sprinkle some facts on them. Just give them one little kernel of truth. Something that's relevant to their lives. Maybe you'll tell them, hey, you know, our water's really bad. And a lot of children have neurological conditions because of the water that is coming through the pipes into their homes. There are children in Flint, Michigan right now who still have to take bottled water to school. And then you walk away. Oh, all this talk about Russia, but we can't even fix our water. All this talk from Adam Schiff, we can't keep every day. What is it? 40 vets commit suicide? What's the number? I'm not sure of the number. But you want me to hear about Paul Manafort? I'm sorry. Every day this happens. That's it. Just one thing. Maybe they'll look it up later. To be aware is a beautiful thing. It's also a heavy burden. But I thank you for being burdened along with me. And remember, smile a little bit this weekend. Smile a little bit. Have some good times if you can. I don't want to be a downer, but I do want you to know you have a responsibility. It's your responsibility at this point to educate other people. And as I say, do so smartly, do so wisely, and never do it to demean or belittle other people, because at one point you didn't know shit either. You were just as dumb as they are. And so somebody had to help you. Somebody had to help me. So let's just help one another. That's it, guys. I'm going to shut up. I appreciate you. I'll see you again. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up as Real Tim Black on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as Tim Black at Night. And until we talk again, I love you. Be safe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Blog Talk Radio people.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
This show is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site that does not steal your data. Go to justinform.com, become a member today.
Freedom Friday by my man Tim Black. He's so great, so fantastic, top-notch guy. Everybody's talking about it. He gives you the hard truth and nothing but the truth, so help him God. He's a fantastic guy. He's not fake news like CNN or MSNBC.